My beloved child, your life is approaching a turning point, a pivotal moment where even the smallest decisions will carry eternal weight. I have already sent you signs so that you would recognize this season, but sadly, in the whirlwind of your busyness and the distractions of seemingly urgent matters, you did not perceive them. So now I come again to speak with you. Soon you will become aware of a subtle battle beginning to arise within you, a battle between reason and emotion, between what you know is right and what you feel drawn to do, between my call and the whispers of fleeting desires. Your mind, into which I have sown clarity, will try to remind you of the words I have spoken, but your heart, with all its unhealed wounds and unmet longings, will attempt to pull you in another direction, one that appears easier, more familiar, more emotionally satisfying, but ultimately leads to doors where my presence does not dwell. My child, the most dangerous threat is not the glaring temptation, but the quiet misdirection. When you think you're still walking the right path, but in truth, you're slowly drifting away from me. And it is in that very tension where you must learn to walk not by what you see, not by what you hear, and not by what you feel, but by the guidance of my Spirit who lives within you. You may feel that a new relationship brings comfort. A sudden opportunity may seem like an escape route. Another path, paved with roses and filled with praise and pleasure, may appear worth exploring. But ask your heart this question: am I truly with you there? Pause in the midst of the noise. Be still in the multitude of voices, and seek me not just through what feels pleasant, but in the deep silence of your spirit. For there are things that will feel right simply because they ease your immediate pain, not because they align with my will. My precious child, I know the longing in you. I understand the emptiness you cannot put into words. I see the loneliness you hide behind hesitant smiles, the empty spaces you've tried to fill with temporary things. But my dear one, do not let your spiritual hunger lead you to a table that deceives. Let me be the one who nourishes you. Let me be your source of answers, not the whispers that entice you with quick fixes, but offer nothing of true substance. Remember, everything I do is according to perfect timing. If you step ahead of what I have appointed, even with the best intentions, you might miss the very blessing I designed for you. A door that opens too early is like unripe fruit picked from the tree. It may look appealing, but it is not ready to give life. So, my child, do not rush. Do not make decisions just because you feel you've waited long enough, or because everything seems okay. Ask me again, and when there is no deep peace from me, be willing to wait. Waiting in me is never wasted. It is time I use to prepare the way, to shape your heart, and to remove the things that would hinder the fullness of my blessing from arriving at the appointed time. I see that sometimes you grow weary, and sometimes you doubt. That does not push me away from you. On the contrary, I draw nearer, because I know that in those moments you need a breath of heaven. I do not come to condemn your missed steps from yesterday. I come to remind you that the door is still open, and I am still waiting to give you something far greater than what you're trying to hold on to. Do not let a missed sign become a burden of guilt or shame. Instead, allow your heart to become tender, to grow in recognizing my signals in the future. With greater sensitivity, quicker discernment, and deeper intimacy with the voice of my Spirit. When you are pulled by your emotions, pause. When you find your heart in turmoil, return to that quiet place, the place where you and I once talked, where you wept and received comfort, where you never had to pretend to be strong. It is there that I will meet you again. I will speak the words you need to hear. I will realign the distortions in your perspective, and above all, I will guide you on the right path. A path that may not always be smooth, but one that will surely lead to glory. My beloved child, do not let this moment pass like any other. Listen deeply, not with your ears, but with your soul. For what lies ahead is not something you can withstand by your own strength. You will need wisdom from above, an unshakable steadfastness, and a love that transcends every scheme and temptation. And all of that I am ready to give you, if you would only do one thing. Open your heart and listen to me. I know there are moments in your journey when you stand at a crossroads, one side echoing the voice of reason, the other pulling at you with a call from the depths of your emotions. You will feel torn between what appears rational and what feels inexplicably right in a deeply personal way. Your mind may sketch a path that is safe, stable, seemingly sensible, and widely approved, and yet something in your heart will stir, calling, inviting, like a voice from the deep that defies words or logic. And in those moments, an intense yet silent battle will erupt within, a war unseen by others, but heavy enough to drain your soul. You may ask yourself, am I being selfish if I follow the call of my heart? Am I being foolish to ignore what is considered the right thing? Your emotions may rise like waves, at times as gentle as a soothing stream, at times as violent as a storm that threatens to wash away all you once believed. Your reason will try to take control, to pull you back to solid ground, to remind you of what is expected according to the standards of society, of others, or even of your past self. My child, I understand this more than anyone, for I am the one who sees both the current of your logic and the depth of your emotions. I know there are things that seem wise but lack life, and there are things that appear risky, yet hidden within them is the divine guidance of the Holy Spirit. That is why I always invite you not to rush into decisions based solely on fleeting feelings, nor solely on rational analysis. I invite you to pause, to listen to me, and to allow me to be the final voice in your most uncertain moments. Emotions are not wrong. I created them so you could feel, love, hurt, rejoice, and weep. But when emotions are not guided by the wisdom that comes from me, they can lead you astray. They can push you into impulsive choices that seem like freedom in a moment, yet unfold into a string of consequences. You may choose to let go of something precious simply because you feel hurt. You may step into something new just to fill a temporary emptiness, and I, with the heart of a merciful Father, can only wait, hoping that before you decide, you will come to me. My beloved child, I long for you to understand that not everything you feel strongly is the voice of truth, and not everything your reason suggests is always the path of grace. That is why true wisdom begins when you learn to place everything, even the things you think you already understand, into my hands. Learn to ask me, Lord, what is best in your eyes? What brings life to me, to my family, to my soul? And then, don't rush, wait. Let peace come first. Let my presence be the confirmation for what you are pondering. I do not promise that you will always know with absolute certainty in that very moment. Sometimes faith must take the first step before clarity follows. But if you truly seek me, I will not let you walk in the dark. I will quiet something deep inside you, like the surface of a lake becoming still. I will place a peace in the innermost part of your soul that cannot be fabricated, and when that peace arrives, You will know it is me. You will know this is the path you are to take, even if it goes against all advice or logical projections. You may face opposition. Some might not understand, and some may even criticize your decision. There may even come a moment when you begin to doubt yourself. But if you have stepped forward with my confirmation, then stand firm. Know that you do not walk alone. You are not isolated in your choice. I am the one who goes before you, the one who clears the way, who keeps every one of your steps from stumbling, and even when you feel unsteady, I still hold your hand and never let go. My dear child, never trade the peace of your spirit for temporary comfort. Do not avoid what I am using to shape you simply out of fear of being hurt. And do not grasp something prematurely just because you feel an aching void. Haste is the enemy's strategy to make you miss what is truly precious. But waiting, though wearying at times, will always be rewarded by me with what far exceeds your expectations. The conflict within you between emotion and reason can only be reconciled when I am at the center, when I become the anchor of every thought. When you invite me, even into the deepest corners of your heart, you will begin to see things more clearly. Not because your circumstances have changed, but because your eyes have been opened. Not because you suddenly feel ready, but because I have come and stilled your soul so deeply that you can discern which voice is mine and which is merely the echo of the flesh. So, my child, in the coming days, when another decision draws near, when a new door opens, when an enticing invitation knocks, do not respond immediately. Enter into the quiet space that belongs to you and me. Ask me. Listen. Open your Bible and let every word sink into your heart. Let a sacred song fill the room so that the very music of heaven can wash the dust from your thoughts. Let worship draw you into the place where all confusion dissolves and truth becomes as clear as the sunlight after the rain. Do you know what the enemy most desires? It is not to forcefully snatch away the good things I am preparing for you. Rather, he wants to subtly turn you away from them through clever disguises and distractions so delicate that you can hardly notice. He doesn't always come as a roaring lion. More often he draws near quietly, waiting for the moment you are tired, the moment you are unsure, or simply when you feel alone in the midst of your own life. And then he begins to sow vague thoughts into your mind, using your own stirred-up emotions as the weapon to strike deeper. He will not attack you with a sword, but with doubt, not with thick darkness, but with a subtle mist that clouds your clarity. He makes you question whether the emotions you're feeling are genuine or deceptive, whether the voice within you is mine or simply the sound of your own conflicted heart. He does not shove you with violence, but gently tugs with a whisper cloaked in logic. Just do what makes you feel better. No one really understands you, or you deserve more comfort than this. And if you're not spiritually awake, you'll think those ideas came from you, from your heart, from some legitimate need within. But in truth, they are sweet traps, snares disguised in rationality and pleasant feelings with a singular purpose, to pull you away from the path I have appointed for you. He knows that once you're hidden from my light, you become more vulnerable. Once you're disconnected from my voice, you're more likely to be led by emotions that are not illuminated. And then, step by step, through a series of small choices, you will drift into a place where my presence feels increasingly foreign. But my beloved child, I do not leave you alone in that battle. I do not remain silent while you stand at the crossroads uncertain of which way is right. I do not watch from a distance as you're torn between love and logic, between desire and discipline, between personal longing and a heavenly call. No, I am here, closer than your breath, ready to intervene, ready to remind, ready to shelter you when your heart begins to waver. I am the one who sees every trap before you approach it. I know where the hidden pits lie beneath the smoothest looking roads. I see every thought designed to make you doubt your worth and my promises. And I am not just standing by to warn you. I am here to lead you through, to take your hand and show you the way that is true, not always the easiest, but the one that leads to life, to peace, and to spiritual maturity. If you're weary from having to stay alert, if you've stumbled because of a wrong choice, if you believe it's too late to turn back, child, I say this with all my mercy. It is never too late when you choose to return. Even if you have wandered far from my good and perfect will, I have never taken my eyes off you. With every step you took away, I was still calling. In every moment of your silence, I was still whispering. And every time you cry out to me, I come near. Beloved, the enemy wants you to believe that your chance is lost, that you've ruined the plan I had for you. But what he doesn't want you to know is this: my plan for you is not fragile. The purpose I've designed for you was established before you ever existed, and no wrong decision, no misguided emotion, no piece of your past can destroy that when you choose to return to me. All that is required is a heart that repents and a soul that longs to walk in the light. I will take care of the rest. You don't have to fight those tangled emotions on your own. Invite me in. Let me place my hand over your heart and calm the storms within. Let me speak into your spirit the words the world can never say. You are loved. You are chosen. And you still have a way back. When you allow me to lead, your emotions will no longer threaten you. They will be sanctified by my Spirit, becoming tools to understand others, to love more deeply, to empathize more sincerely, never again dominating or controlling you. When you abide in me, you will have spiritual eyes to discern what is true and what is counterfeit. You will have spiritual ears to hear my voice above the roar of feelings and the noise of the world. You will have a tender heart that does not easily sway, and from that place you will walk, not in anxiety, but in the assurance that every step is guided by the one who knows both the beginning and the end of your journey. You may be walking through an incredibly sensitive season. Invitations and temptations may be calling to you from every direction. The needs within you may be rising like a tide, leading you to believe that one emotional decision could solve it all. But my child, I am calling you to wait on me. Do not let temporary cravings rob you of eternal things. Do not let a moment of weakness thrust you into days of regret. Offer your emotions to me daily. Pray like this: Lord, please take not only my thoughts, but also my heart. Take the unspoken things, the silent longings I don't even understand. When you do that, you are preparing your heart to become a dwelling place for my presence. And wherever my presence dwells, there is no room for darkness. Therefore, my beloved, do not fear the battles taking place within you. They do not separate you from me. They give me more room to reveal my strength and love to you. Let me fight for you. Let me cover you. And remember, no matter how clouded your heart may feel, my light is always strong enough to illuminate the path ahead. I am here. I am not leaving you. And in every spiritual and emotional battle, I remain the one who holds the final word. All I ask is that you choose to listen. And when you listen, you will not only be rescued, you will be restored, equipped, and sent forth as one who has overcome the darkness, carrying a light that nothing can extinguish. The wrestlings within your heart are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that you are entering new territory, where you no longer rely on your own strength, but are beginning to truly depend on me. I have come to comfort you, to cloak you with the kind of peace the world cannot give and cannot take away. I have not come merely to answer your question, "Am I enough?" but to declare this truth. You don't have to be enough on your own, for I am the one who is enough. I will be your strength when you are exhausted, your clarity when you are confused, your steadfastness when your heart feels shaken. You are not called to fight alone. You are called to walk in partnership with me. The sign I sent you yesterday was not just a fleeting moment. It was not simply something beautiful or random. It was a message weighted with heavenly significance. It was given not to decorate your faith, but to awaken it, to stir your spirit, to remind you that I am still moving, even when you don't feel it. I am still guiding, even when all you see is a thick fog before you. You don't need to see the whole path. You only need to take my hand and walk one step at a time, trusting that I will never leave you. My child, I know there are mornings when you wake with a heavy heart, staring into the distance, unable to see anything clearly except question marks. There are nights you toss and turn, thinking about the ones you love, the burdens you carry, and you whisper to yourself, "Can I really bear all of this?" You feel small and fragile in a world too vast, too ever-changing, too full of hidden snares. But, my dear one, do not forget, I did not choose you because you are strong, wise, or capable. I chose you because I love you. And in that love I will equip you. I will uphold you. And I will turn what seems powerless into something radiant to reveal my glory. Each day, when you place your hand over your chest and wonder if you can keep going, let me remind you of this. You are not walking alone. You are not expected to find the way out of the maze by yourself. You are not left to withstand the storms on your own. I am already there, going before you to make a way, beside you to walk with you, and behind you to catch you every time you feel like you might fall. The sign I have given is a gentle warning, meant to keep you from being swept away by the whirlwind of outward appearances. It is a bell that calls you back to my presence. It is a light in the darkness, not to reveal everything at once, but just enough for you to see the next step. And with each step you take in obedience, the light will widen a little more, until you find that you are no longer lost, because I myself am the way, the truth, and the life. Let your heart be still in this truth. My plan for you is never dependent on your fleeting emotions or the sudden turns of circumstance. It is built on my unchanging promises, on my unshakable nature, and on the eternal love I have for you. Even when you tremble, I do not. Even when you doubt, I remain steadfast. Even when you walk slowly, my eyes never leave you. Do not let silent worries cause your heart to close. Do not let unanswered questions cause your prayers to cease. Keep speaking to me, even through tears. Lay your questions on the quiet altar of your soul and allow my Spirit to do His work, not hastily but faithfully. Keep coming to me like a child returning to their father's arms, not needing every answer immediately, but needing only to know the Father is still here. And my child, if you feel you are walking slower than others, if you feel weaker than most, remember that I do not ask for speed, I look for faithfulness. All I need is that you don't let go, that you keep returning, keep seeking me in the silence, keep whispering, yes, even when your heart is unsure. That alone is enough for me to do the rest. So be at peace, my beloved. Do not let the unknown overshadow what you already know. I am faithful. I am kind. I am the one who leads you from darkness into light, from chaos into hope, from confusion into steadiness. I never begin anything in your life without the full intent to finish it in glory. Keep seeking me. Keep listening. Even if my voice seems small, it is still louder than all the noise of the world. The sign has been given. The light has been lit. Now is the time for you to walk, not with the certainty of sight, but with the trust that the hand holding yours is the hand of the one who never breaks a promise. And in that place, you will find the deep rest your soul has longed for. Hold your heart steady, my beloved one, for the days ahead are not punishment, but preparation. Every trial, every wave that seems to crush you is not meant to destroy, but to deepen the roots of your faith into the steadfastness of my love. The shaking that is coming is not to snuff out your flame, but to ignite a fire that cannot be extinguished. A fire I myself lit from the beginning, when you were still a seed within your mother's womb. Trust me when all things around you begin to tremble. Do not let fear steal the vision I am unfolding before you, for I did not call you to walk by earthly eyes, but by the eyes of faith, eyes that see the unseen, that sense the sacred, and cling to the unshakable promises of the one who created you. What you are about to go through may feel like a fiery furnace, but it is there that I will refine away all impurity and make your heart shine like pure gold. My beloved child, do not ask why you must journey through the wilderness. Do not question why at times every door seems to close. For it is precisely in what appears to be desolation that I am leading you step by step, not to abandon you, but to teach you to hear my voice more clearly, to separate you from the noise of life and reconnect you with the rhythm of the Holy Spirit. It is in the desert that I will whisper to you the deepest revelations, truths you could not discern amidst the crowds of the city. I need you to understand this. Silence is not the absence of my presence, but an invitation into the depth of divine communion. You will begin to see the familiar things around you slowly change. Some relationships will fade. Some dreams you once cherished will be reshaped by me. But do not cling to the old out of fear of change. I am the one who is making all things new. And in order to step into the new season, you must allow me to remove the burdens you no longer need to carry. I know there are things you love, things you once thought would last forever, but my child, what comes from me will never fade away, and what does not, I will gently take away, so that your heart will no longer be divided. These shifts are not meant to break you, but to reveal who you truly are. A warrior of light, forged for purposes far greater than you ever imagined. Not a single tear you've shed is wasted. I collect every one in my bottle, and every sob in the night will become part of a victorious anthem in your day of triumph. You are not alone. Even when all else is silent, I am still speaking within you. When it seems I am the quietest, that is when I am working the most. Behind the veil your eyes cannot yet see. Let your faith be more than a feeling. Let it be the unshakable foundation on which you stand when the winds blow and the earth trembles. Let your faithfulness become my dwelling place, so that in the midst of every storm you can declare, I know the one I worship, and he is my fortress. You will see my hands sustaining you, not to spare you from every hardship, but to carry you through it with a new stature, with a strengthened heart, and with a faith deeper than ever before. You will begin to notice wonders unfolding even in the most ordinary moments. A passing breeze can become a sign sent by me. A closed door might be my protection from something you cannot yet perceive. Every occurrence is held within my wise orchestration. Nothing in your life is random. The winding paths, the waiting that once felt in vain, all are leading you to a place I prepared long ago. A place where my presence will surround you, and you will walk as one who carries light into a darkening world. Be watchful, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit, for the enemy will seek to exploit the moments when you are most weary, sowing doubt into your heart. It will tempt you to question the very promises I have given. But if you remain steadfast, if you continue to believe, even when you see nothing ahead, then you will witness the miraculous. It will not only be the transformation of outward circumstances, but the transformation within. A heart that stands firm, a soul unshaken, a faith that cannot be conquered. My child, there are doors that will only open when you walk forward without hesitation, when you step out onto the waters without seeing the ground beneath. It is in that spiritual risk that I will reveal to you my power to sustain and provide. What I have prepared for you cannot be measured by earthly standards. You were destined to be a witness of my faithfulness, so that when others look at you, they will know there is a living God at work among mankind. And when you overcome these trials, you will not merely emerge with victory, but with a deeper understanding of me. You will no longer need proof to believe, for your heart will have synchronized with mine. You will realize that the most precious gift is not the material blessings you receive in the end, but the sacred relationship forged in every moment you held my hand through the storm. So walk in trust, awaken and listen, for everything that is coming is meant to prepare you for a season of abundance, a season in which you will not only reap for yourself, but also pour out for souls who are yearning for the light. My beloved child, I have placed my hand upon you, and no one can snatch you from it. Everything I do is out of love, and that love will never leave your side. My precious one, for you to grow into the role I have appointed, you cannot remain in the places that are familiar, places where you have leaned on emotion, reasoning, or your own abilities. The time has come for you to go further, to break out of the cocoon of safety you've hidden in. The changes ahead will not only shake the world around you, but will also stir the depths within you, where faith, hope, and love have been planted. That is why I am calling you to step out, not to wander, but to be led by the light that comes from me alone, a light that never fades, even in the thickest darkness. There will be times when you no longer feel certain about the path ahead. What was once clear may become clouded. You will come to see that what you once held as unshakable truths may no longer stand in the light of the revelation I am now unveiling. But this is not confusion. It is the beginning of a great transformation. In this journey, I will teach you how to live beyond fleeting emotions, how to walk by unwavering faith. I will show you what it means to trust me when you have nothing else to hold on to but my word. It is a sacred lesson, and only those who dare to leave the familiar boat can walk on water without sinking. You will have moments when it feels like you are walking through deep darkness, but in every uncertain step, I am still beside you. At times, the light I shine is not meant to reveal the entire path, but just the next step. I do this not to make things difficult, but to train your heart in trust. For if you saw everything clearly, you would no longer need faith. But it is within this very uncertainty that your faith is birthed, refined, and grows into a mighty tree that stretches out amidst the storm. You will learn to hear the whisper of the Holy Spirit amid the noise of life, and discover that my voice, gentle yet powerful, speaks louder than all the others around you. I know there will be times when your heart feels overwhelmed. I know there will be nights when you sit alone, wondering why I have allowed you to walk through circumstances you did not expect. But my child, every step taken in the dark is another opportunity to grasp my hand tighter. I do not create darkness to frighten you, but to make the light from me unmistakable and undeniable. When everything else fades, you will know that the only light that remains is me, and that is the only light you will ever need. Do not be afraid when you feel like you've lost control. I did not call you to control. I called you to surrender. Let me lead you like a gentle father who holds your small hand and guides you through each bend of the journey I have designed. Every risk you take because you trust in me, every time you choose to keep walking despite the turmoil within, is a sign that your faith is alive, maturing, and transforming into enduring spiritual strength. Beloved child, if you live only in comfort, you will never uncover the divine potential I have placed within you. It is through trials that I strip away the layers of fear, doubt, and limitation that life and past wounds have wrapped around you. It is in the darkness that you will come to know the power of a single light, and when you pass through it all, you will not only be set free, but also sent forth as a light in the midst of a darkened world. You will become a living testimony that there is one who never abandoned you, even when you thought he was silent. Remember this: my light is not only to illuminate your path, but also to warm your heart. In your coldest, loneliest moments, I will come to you like a fire to warm your soul. I will remind you that you are not forgotten, not forsaken, not overlooked. You are precious, chosen, and anointed to fulfill a sacred purpose the world has never seen before. Do not let doubt blur this truth. You must learn patience, for the greatest things in me often come after the longest waits. I am never late, but I am always right on time. Every season of silence is a season in which I am preparing a wonder for you, and when that time arrives, all things will become clear, like dawn dispersing the night. You will understand why I had to lead you through winding paths that once seemed meaningless. You will realize why I did not respond immediately when you cried out, for I was doing something deeper than merely answering a prayer. I was transforming you, so that you could fully receive what I am about to give. I know this journey will bring you to tears, but I do not let a single tear go to waste. I turn them into powerful intercessions before my throne. I use them as streams to water the dry soil in your soul. And in that very place, new life will bloom. Joy will return, laughter will echo again, and you will sing in the valley as if standing upon the mountaintop, because you will know that I am faithful. So keep walking forward. Let me be the lamp to your feet. Believe that even if you see only one step ahead, it is enough. Because I am the one who holds the map. You don't need to understand everything. You only need to know that I love you, and that love will never change. Let that love become your compass, your shelter, your reason not to give up. My child, as you begin to walk deeper into the path I have set before you, you will discover that I am not the only voice you will hear. All around you, many sounds will rise: the voices of loved ones, the opinions of friends, the urgings of society, and even whispers from places your eyes cannot see. Each one will offer its view, each voice will claim to be right, but not all of them reflect my holy will. I want you to remember this: not every piece of advice is light. Some words may sound wise, but deep within carry confusion. Some voices may come from genuine concern, yet bring fear and limitations you were never meant to carry. Some words may be sweet as honey, but are in fact traps dressed in false kindness, meant to draw you away from the path I have marked for you. That is why you must learn to listen with your soul, not just your fleshly ears. There are voices that reach you out of jealousy, from those who cannot understand why I have chosen you, why I have bestowed upon you a special grace. They will attempt to plant doubt in your heart, using reason and logic to make you question the path you're walking, while in truth, they are resisting what they cannot control. There will also be people who genuinely love you, but because they have never been led by the Holy Spirit, their words, though spoken from care, may still steer you away from the path I have ordained. And then there are the invisible voices, subtle yet weighty. They come from the enemy, the deceiver, since the beginning. It does not need to shout to shake your footing. Sometimes a mere thought, a passing comment, or a fleeting feeling of unease is enough for it to sow the seed of doubt in your heart. It knows how to distract you, to make you question even the very things I have whispered to you in the secret place. It will tell you that you are not enough, that you are lost, that you only imagine what I have placed within you. But my beloved, I have been teaching you not to rely on noise, but to discern truth amid 1,000 lies. You must learn to filter. Do not let every voice penetrate your heart. Do not let every word spoken become the compass that steers your soul. Instead, measure every word you hear against my word. My word is the standard, the lamp that shines through the thick night of deception. If any voice draws you away from me, if it chills your heart or unsettles your spirit, then know, it is not from me. I am not the author of confusion. I am the God of peace, of clarity, and of unshakable love. I also want you to understand that silence is not always the absence of my presence. When the voices of others grow too loud, I may gently step back, not to abandon you, but to teach you to seek me intentionally. I want you to learn how to remain grounded amidst the crowd, to guard your heart amidst countless opinions. I want you to recognize my voice, not because it is the loudest, but because you have grown so familiar with the rhythm of my heart that among 1,000 sounds, you still recognize me, just as a sheep recognizes the voice of its shepherd. There may be times when you feel misunderstood, judged, or slandered simply because you chose to follow my leading. But my child, do not let that discourage you. The price of obedience is sometimes temporary loneliness, but I promise you, I will never let you walk alone. I will give you wisdom to know when to remain silent and when to speak. I will teach you when to receive counsel and when to walk forward with only the inner conviction I have placed within your soul. I know there are days when you wish someone would simply affirm that you are on the right path. You long for confirmation, for understanding eyes, for visible support. But, my dear one, if you always need human approval to continue, your faith will always depend on man. I want you to stand firm even when no one pats your shoulder, even when no one sees the inner journey you walk, because I see, I know, and I am the greatest reward you will ever need. Sometimes, True respect is not gained by following every opinion, but by having the courage to do what is right before me, even if it sets you apart. You are not called to please everyone. You are called to please the one who created you in his image. Remember, obedience will always meet resistance. But you do not need to fear resistance, for my power is with you, and if I am with you, who can stand against you? My beloved child, take time each day to return to the quiet place, where you can listen not to the voices outside, but to the voice from my heart. In that stillness, I will restore your clarity. I will strengthen the faith you already carry. I will fortify the courage where you feel weak, and I will grant you a spiritually discerning ear, able to recognize what comes from me, what comes from man, and what comes from the enemy. My child, when you learn to recognize my voice among the countless others, you will no longer be easily shaken. You will no longer need to chase after every piece of advice, every opinion, every glance of judgment. Instead, you will walk with steady steps, eyes fixed on me, ears attuned to my whisper, and your heart at rest in the assurance that you are on the right path. My beloved one, a turning point is near, and you can no longer live as though your choices affect only yourself. The things you are about to choose, the paths you will soon walk, will leave an imprint not only on your personal life, but on the generation in which you live. You are not merely an isolated individual passing through this world. You are a vital link in a chain of destiny far greater than you can imagine. Every decision you make is like a stone dropped into still waters, sending ripples far beyond the shores your eyes can see. Therefore, I plead with you, do not rush, do not act out of impulse or limited understanding. Pause, be still. Draw near to me and listen, for I, your Creator, am the only one who sees the whole picture of your life. I do not only see today, I see the years ahead, the people you will encounter, the souls you will touch, the generations that will be transformed through your faithfulness. Each step you take can become a light to others, or it can lead them astray if you wander off course. That is why I earnestly urge you, seek wisdom from me. The wisdom of man, no matter how sharp it may seem, is but a fragile thread in the whirlwind of this age. People can predict, calculate, and strategize, but only I know the future. Only I see what lurks behind doors that seem safe. Only I can distinguish the path that leads to life from the one that subtly guides toward destruction. My child, learn to quiet your soul and ask me, Lord, what would you have me do? That is the most powerful question you can ask at any crossroads, for I am not a distant God, nor one who only speaks after you have fallen. I am always ready to direct your path, always pleased to lead you through the maze of life, if only you are willing to listen. There will be doors that open before you that seem so appealing, opportunities that appear to come at just the right time, relationships that seem divinely orchestrated, promises that sound perfectly aligned. But, my child, not everything that comes easily is from me. Some things are traps wrapped in sweetness. Some roads appear smooth yet lead to the edge of the abyss. You cannot discern all things by your own understanding. You need the light that comes from me, and that light is given to hearts that know how to bow low and pray in humility. I never turn away those who seek me sincerely. If you call, I will answer. If you knock, I will open. If you ask for wisdom, I will give it, generously and without reproach. For I rejoice when I see you turn away from the noise of the world to seek the sound of my voice, the voice that never errs. You must understand that what I am calling you into is not merely for your own blessing. It is for your entire family. It is for those you love but don't yet know how to help. It is for the souls still immersed in darkness, waiting for someone courageous like you to obey, so that they too might see the light. A single right decision made in me can become a lever that lifts your entire lineage out of bondage. Conversely, a single impulsive choice made outside of me can sow consequences that echo for years. Therefore, choose not according to fleeting emotions, but according to the steadfast leading of the Holy Spirit. Do not let pressure drive you down the wrong path. Do not let the voices of others drown out the inner voice I have placed within your heart. And above all, never make a decision when your spirit has not yet found peace. My peace is the sign. If you walk along the path I have ordained, your heart will find rest, even if your mind cannot yet comprehend. But if you drift from my plan, you will sense a nameless unrest, a small bell ringing within your soul, warning you gently, stop. My beloved child, I did not create you to live an ordinary life. I formed you with purpose and meaning, and the decisions you make today will become the foundation stones of your destiny tomorrow. Choose not what is convenient, but what is right. Choose the path not crowded, but approved by the Spirit. Even if it demands sacrifice, even if it asks you to leave behind what feels familiar, I promise you, obedience will never lead you to regret. You will be astonished when you look back and realize, simply because you chose to pause and ask me, simply because you had the courage to reject an opportunity that your soul did not feel peace about, your whole life was shielded from disaster. And not just your life, but the generations that follow will reap the blessing of that obedience. For I am the Lord your God, who not only knows the present but holds the future. I am the one who does not only see the next step, but sees the very end of the road you're walking. And if you allow me to guide you, I will not only bring you to safety, I will bring you to purpose, to abundance, to a place where your soul is fed not merely with physical bread, but with the deep meaning of a life lived wholly within my divine design. So, my child, do not fear decision-making. Do not let the fear of failure keep you paralyzed, but also do not let haste steal your discernment. Walk with me, pause with me, choose with me. For if you allow me to walk with you in every decision, you will never regret it. You will not only see blessings unfold in your choices, but you will witness my hand revealed in wondrous ways with every step you take. My beloved child, each time you allow your heart to be swayed by deceptive voices, you step away from the position I placed you in, where you were meant to walk in authority and light. When you let the voice of deceit enter your mind, it not only robs you of the peace I've given, but slowly strips away fragments of your divine destiny, etched deeply within your soul long before the foundation of the world. Do not underestimate the power of deception. It rarely comes in the terrifying form you imagine. It cloaks itself in reasonableness, hides behind thoughts that seem right, and is embellished with emotions that feel familiar, but its true nature is that of a hidden hook, slowly pulling your soul away from the true life I desire you to receive. Do you see it, my child? Those moments when you sink into doubt are not just harmless lapses. They are the first subtle cracks in the foundation of your faith. Like underground currents, they slowly and silently erode the trust you once built with tears and persistent prayer. And if you fail to recognize them in time, they can cause the very fortress we've built together to collapse, layer by layer, not because I have withdrawn, but because you have loosened your grip on my hand. at the very moment you needed to hold on the most. So let me ask you this. Why do you lend your ear to the deceiver, while I, the one who has loved you with an everlasting love, am still whispering to you daily? Why do you allow your heart to be entangled in doubt when my arms are open wide, ready to carry you out of the shadows? Why do you let the voices that bring fear replace my word, the word that brings life, freedom, and light? My beloved, the time has come for you to discern clearly who is speaking to your soul. Do not slumber any longer, not while the dawn has already broken. You, weary soul, must awaken. This is no longer the time to postpone, to wait until your emotions settle, or to think it over a little longer. No, my child. Time is no longer something you can afford to waste. Every moment you delay is another step backward, a space that darkness eagerly claims. You must rise, right now, not by your own strength, but by the courage I have already planted within you, by the promise I inscribed upon your forehead before you ever saw the light of day. Look around you, not with eyes of flesh, but with eyes opened by divine wisdom, and you will see that the enemy is not asleep. He is weaving his traps through thoughts, in seemingly casual conversations, in random events that appear to hold no meaning. He sneaks into your daily choices, into your weariness, into the longings that remain unmet. He uses delays to sow disappointment, my silence to provoke doubt, and your fears to bind your hands until you can no longer reach out. But I see all of this, and because I do, I will not remain silent. I am calling you, not with thunder, but with the voice of a heart that bleeds with love for you. I do not want to watch you lose yourself when you were created to overcome. You were not born to live buried in anxiety, but to walk in victory. You were not designed to hide in fear, but to rise up in battle with the fire of faith burning in your hands. Reclaim your faith, that same faith that once gave you the boldness to pray through your tears, the strength to sing worship songs in the dark, and the resilience to rise even after falling. Do not wait for everything to make sense. Do not wait until you feel strong enough to act. Faith does not wait for certainty. Faith begins when you are still trembling. I do not require perfection from you. I simply ask for a heart that is willing. Because when you stand and say, "Lord, I cannot see clearly, but I choose to trust you," all of heaven moves at the awakening of a single soul. This is a defining moment, a crossroads that can reshape the entire direction of your life. You will either step into the fullness of life I have prepared for you, or you will remain caught in the endless cycle of fear and doubt. You can no longer live halfway. You cannot follow me with one foot still anchored to the path you left behind. Light and darkness cannot dwell in the same space, and I, the Holy One, am calling you back to the purity you once knew, to the place where your heart was undivided, where your faith was uncompromised, and where you knew without question to whom you belonged. Reclaim the territory that belongs to your soul, the ground the enemy has tried to occupy through distractions, clever excuses, and emotions that do not come from me. Do not allow it to pitch its tent on your land. Do not let it sow seeds in the fields where I have planted life. You were created to pursue truth, not to nurture deception. My beloved child, do not think for a moment that I have left you alone in this trembling world without equipping you with the tools to resist temptation, to stand against doubt and darkness. No, my dear one. From the moment I called you out of the shadows and into my marvelous light, I have entrusted you with spiritual weapons, not as ornaments to be stored away, but as daily instruments for the battles you must face in the realm of the Spirit. I have given you my word, the living Word, timeless and unshaken by human emotions. The Bible is not a book to be read out of obligation. It is a living treasure, the mirror of my heart, the map to guide you through life's deserts, the lamp that never goes out no matter how dark the night becomes. When your heart is troubled, seek my word. When your thoughts are clouded, allow the light within every verse to illumine your understanding. Every word carries life, holds power to heal and to build. Nourish your soul with that word, not only in times of trouble, but also in days of peace. For just like a warrior, you cannot wait until battle breaks out to learn how to wield a sword. You must train every day. Let my word take deep root in your heart like seed planted in good soil. Let it become the sole standard by which you discern truth from error, measure every thought, and filter every word. For many words are spoken, many ideas are preached, but not all carry the essence of truth. You will only recognize what comes from me when you have become deeply familiar with the sound of my voice. And alongside the word I have given you a priceless gift, prayer. Never think of prayer as mere ritual or obligation. No, my child, prayer is the breath of the soul. It is the unceasing flow between you and me. It is the lifeline that connects you to heaven. Every whisper you utter, every sigh, every groan too deep for words, I hear them all. And not only do I hear them, I lean in with my full attention. I draw near, so that not a single cry is lost in the void, but rather gathered like precious drops of water and kept safe in the vessel of my love. Speak to me, not as to a distant God, but as to a close Father, a faithful friend, a lover of your soul with unconditional love. Tell me everything, from your smallest anxieties to your most hidden dreams. Share with me the questions you cannot ask anyone else, for I never grow weary of you. On the contrary, I rejoice every time you open your heart. My greatest joy does not lie in polished prayers, but in the sincerity behind even your most awkward words. Do not wait for everything to be perfect before you pray. Do not think you must be better before drawing near to me. It is precisely when you are weak, when you are broken, that is when I long for you to come closest. You do not need to hide anything from me, for I already know it all. But I still wait for you to speak, not because I am unaware, but because I desire to step into your story, to write with you the chapters of restoration, healing, and transformation. Never cease to pray, not because I need to hear much, but because your soul needs to remain connected to the source of unending life. In every ordinary moment, when you're working, walking, or sitting quietly alone, you can speak with me. Do not confine me to fixed hours or to so-called sacred places. I am everywhere. I am present in every breath, and my heart is always turned toward you. Perhaps you once believed that I only speak to the spiritual or the special, but my dear one, you are the one I long to converse with. There is no one too insignificant for me. No one is too fragile to hear my voice. I do not look at your spiritual accomplishments. I look at your heart, your sincerity, your humility, your willingness to listen. And if you truly seek me, you will come to realize that I have never stopped speaking. I am still whispering through the very things you once deemed mundane. Beloved, I know there are days when your heart feels empty, when you open the Bible and it seems like nothing more than ink on paper. I know there are times when your prayers feel like they rise no higher than the ceiling. But do not let go. It is in those very moments that your faith is being refined. When you feel nothing, yet still choose to pray. When you see no answer, yet still choose to believe, that is when you offer me the most precious gift, your faithfulness. And it is that, not your feelings, that moves my heart. Keep holding on to my word. Let it be your daily bread, your reason for living in every situation. Keep praying, even when your heart is filled with questions that seem to have no answers. I am not intimidated by your questions. I do not reject the moments of your doubt as long as you continue to speak with me. I will enter into that very confusion and untangle the chaos with peace that comes from heaven. And as you walk in my word, as you let prayer become like breathing, you will find yourself being transformed. Not by your own strength, but by the power that comes from above. You will begin to discern more clearly. You will stand firm in the face of temptation. You will recognize what is true and what is false. You will no longer be swayed easily by emotion, by public opinion, or by the rejection of others, because your soul has been anchored in me. And in that place you will find everything: comfort, guidance, healing, and a purpose that will never fade away. So, my child, continue. Fill your mind with truth. Feed your heart with living words and prayer, for that is how you will stand strong in the days ahead, not by worldly wisdom, but by an unbroken connection with the very source of life. And as you live this way, I promise you this: you will never be shaken. You will walk as one wrapped in my glorious presence, and every place you enter will carry the light of heaven with you. My beloved, have you ever paused, truly paused, to remember those moments in life when it felt like every door had been shut, when darkness seemed to swallow every flicker of hope, and you sat there, alone and silent, with unanswered questions hanging heavy in the air? Those were not random moments, my child. I stepped into your life precisely at those times, when it seemed like no one knew, no one saw. And yet, it was then, when you thought you had been abandoned, that I was most present. Not loud, not forceful, but quiet, gentle, like a breeze stirring the door of your soul. Sometimes it came through a kind gaze from a stranger, or the timely embrace of someone when you were on the verge of breaking. Other times it was just a word spoken in passing amidst the crowd, but it pierced the deepest part of you. Or a song that played right when you needed it, a melody that stirred your heart, or a verse from Scripture that appeared like a beacon in the dark. You thought those things were coincidence? No, my dear one. That was me. It was me drawing near. It was me weaving every small detail into the story of your life, so that when you look back, you will see that my hand was always there, steadfast, tender, and full of wisdom. I do not choose to come to you when you are already prepared, when you are dressed in your finest or able to offer me a perfect prayer. I step in precisely in those moments when you are confused, when your mind is tangled and your faith is hanging by a fragile thread. It is in those very moments that I come, not to rebuke, not to demand, but to remind you that I am still here, still patiently waiting for you, still seeing the deep worth within your soul, even when you cannot see it yourself. You may not realize that what you perceive as interruptions in your life are, in fact, sacred pauses in which I am weaving something beautiful. I am the master artisan, and every crack in your heart, every unhealed wound, every disappointment you have endured, each becomes a precious thread in the tapestry of glory I am crafting. There is no detail that is wasted, no tear is meaningless, no failure is in vain. All of it is woven into the divine design I sketched for your life long before the world began to turn. Look back, and you will see. The rugged paths you thought were pulling you away from your destiny were actually the shortest routes bringing you back to the original plan I had in mind. Every failure did not defeat you, but refined you. Every wound did not destroy you, but softened you and made you more compassionate. And every time you stumbled, I did not stand far off in judgment. I knelt down beside you, wiped the dust from your brow, and whispered, "Keep going, my child. I still believe in you." Do you know what moves me most about you? It is not your perfection. It is your unwavering resolve. It is the way you dare to rise again after so many falls. It is the way your eyes still search for me, even when your heart is full of unanswered questions. It is when you choose to believe, even when everything around you tells you to give up. I love that kind of courage. I treasure that kind of heart, because it is from there that I can shape a soul of strength, a child who carries the light of heaven into a shadowed world. You cannot yet see the whole picture, but I can. You see only the challenges of the present, but I see the radiant future ahead. And between the two, I am still weaving, stitching together the broken pieces, the sorrows, the things you once called loss, so that in the end you will see what you thought were endings were really beginnings. What you called failure was a launching pad to soar higher, and the things you tried to cling to, once replaced by what I have for you, will make you never want to go back to what once was. My beloved child, I want you to know this. Nothing in your life is accidental when you walk with me. No journey is random. No moment is forgotten. Every detail is arranged. Every encounter carries meaning. Every challenge holds within it an invitation to come deeper into my heart. When you let me lead, even the most winding roads will become corridors of miracles. I am writing your life story, not with rushed strokes, but with sacred touches, full of meaning and love. And you are not just a character in that story. You are a companion, a co-author, one who holds my hand through every page. I do not force you to follow a rigid script. I invite you to write it with me, through your daily choices, through your small but sincere faith, through your decision to believe in goodness even when you cannot yet see it. My beloved child, let me embrace your heart in this very moment. When your dreams seem distant, when you look around and see others advancing faster, glowing with success, while you feel left behind in silence and confusion. But my child, do not let the slowness of your journey cause your spirit to falter. Do not allow the unanswered pauses to convince your soul that I have forgotten you. That is not the case. I have never taken my eyes off you. Not for a single breath have I been distracted. I know there are times when your heart is filled with questions. You whisper, "Lord, why have I not seen the fruit of my faithfulness? Why have the things I poured my whole heart into not yet borne results?" But dear one, know this. The deepest rewards do not always come immediately. In my kingdom, the most precious things are often conceived in silence. True growth does not make a loud sound. It begins as a quiet shift, a gentle stirring deep beneath the surface, where the seed silently germinates, patiently pushing through its shell to find the light. And you, my child, are that seed. You are not invisible to me. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, prayer over complaint, perseverance over surrender, you are nurturing a great harvest you cannot yet see with your natural eyes. Every time you kneel in the quiet of the night, every tear that falls silently over things you can't explain to anyone, I see it all, and not a single act of faithfulness goes unnoticed. Do not measure your worth by the pace at which life seems to produce results. Do not compare your path to anyone else's. Every soul I have created carries a unique process, a specific appointed time of ripening, a distinct and divine purpose. I am deepening your roots so that when the day of blooming comes, you won't just be a beautiful flower. You'll be a strong tree, able to shelter the weary, guide the lost, and bear sweet fruit for generations to come. My child, do not be deceived by silence. Do not mistake apparent stillness for inaction. It is in the quiet that I am working most powerfully. It is in the unseen where I accomplish more than your mind can grasp. Just as a child in the womb cannot yet see the world but is growing with every moment, so too is your soul being formed and nurtured in ways that transcend human understanding. And when you choose to keep believing amidst the unknown, you are doing something profoundly powerful. For faith is not about seeing first, but about believing so that you may see. Sometimes, even the smallest willingness, a quiet whisper of, "Lord, I don't understand, but I trust you," is enough for me to use as a foundation to build an extraordinary destiny. I do not ask for perfection from you. I simply look for a heart that is willing, and when you give me that small willingness, I can multiply it 1,000-fold, transforming what seemed ordinary into something that astonishes heaven itself. Imagine your soul as an unfinished painting, with me as the artist, patiently adding color each day. Some strokes may seem faint, vague, or confusing at first, but as time unfolds, the beauty and depth of the masterpiece begin to emerge. If you stop halfway, you will never see the full picture. But if you keep going, slowly, tiredly, but faithfully, you will one day behold what I have always seen in you from the beginning. I have been granting you a strength that does not come from human effort, but from the very source of eternal life. It is a quiet strength, yet unshakable. A strength that is not found in the noise of the world, but in steadfastness, endurance, and refusal to give up. This strength will help you stand firm through the fiercest storms, and will keep your soul from drifting even when the waves rise high. And when you begin to realize that I am the safest refuge, that in my arms every burden becomes lighter, your heart will find rest, not because your circumstances have instantly changed, but because your heart has found its rightful place. Your faith will no longer rest on what is external, but will be rooted in the one who never changes. And from that place, peace will flow like an underground spring that never runs dry. Continue to move forward, even when the journey seems longer than expected. Do not let the voices around you cause you to doubt the value of what you are doing in silence. For in my kingdom, nothing is overlooked. No act of obedience is in vain. No step of faith is too small. Everything is being recorded, preserved, and one day it will be revealed. On that day you will see. All that you have faithfully cultivated with tears, I will allow you to reap with laughter. Everything you have sown in faith, I will cause to sprout in glory. And you will not only witness what I have done through you, but you will behold the person I have formed within you. Strong, deep, humble, and radiant. So do not let your heart grow weary, just because the reward is not yet visible. I am working. I am walking with you. I am shaping you. And what is being formed in the silence today will become the powerful testimony of tomorrow. A living witness that all who place their trust in me will never be put to shame. My beloved child, gently lay down the hidden burdens that have bound your heart, those chains named judgment, the accusations you have placed on yourself, or the ones spoken over you by others. I know the wounds you guard so closely, the ones you hope no one will ever touch. I see the shadows of old sins clinging to you as though they still have the right to stay. But hear me now, with all the deepest love of my heart. You have been redeemed at the highest price, and there is no longer any condemnation for you. I have paid every debt in full. I hold no accusation against you. I did not wait for you to be perfect to forgive you. I forgave you even before you turned back to see your mistakes. My sacrifice was not just to erase a single fault, but to release you from the entire weight of shame, torment, and the relentless voice that says, "You are not good enough." I do not want you to live as if you are trying to earn redemption. I want you to live as one who has been set free, one who knows that my blood has cleansed every stain, one who walks each day not in fear of judgment, but in gratitude and boldness, because they are loved unconditionally. Let my love soften the hardened corners of your heart. Let my forgiveness soak into the depths of your soul like a gentle rain washing away the dust of time. Do not keep avoiding. Do not keep pushing me away. Do not say, "I am not worthy," for I have already declared you are enough. Do not say, "It's too late," for I have already spoken. There is still time. My forgiveness is not just a promise. It is a living reality waiting for you to step into. In this world, there will be many voices, some loud and persistent, trying to convince you that you must strive harder, do more, in order to be worthy of forgiveness, to earn love. But I am not like the world. My love is not built upon your accomplishments. My love is an unending river, a boundless sky, the very breath flowing through every cell of your soul. And in that love, you will find rebirth, a new heart, a new beginning, a new identity. So in those quiet moments, when the day has drawn to a close, when the world around you has fallen into slumber, when it is just you and the silent rhythm of your heart, open your soul. Let me enter into the wordless conversation where you don't need to express yourself perfectly, only truthfully. I am not looking for eloquent prayers. I simply desire a heart that can look up and whisper, "Lord, please stay here with me." In those moments, when your soul becomes as still as calm waters, you will hear my voice gently speaking. I do not shout. I do not force. I speak in stillness. But that voice is more powerful than any noise this world can make. I will remind you of your true worth. I will show you that you are not defined by your past, but by my present love. I will give you guidance and plant glimmers of light along the path ahead, even if your circumstances have yet to change. And if you truly seek me, not to fulfill a religious standard, but out of a deep yearning to be close to me, then I promise you will find me. I do not hide from the sincere. I do not flee from those who long to know me more. On the contrary, I draw near. I step in. I make myself known. And in that presence, what once seemed impossible will begin to unfold. Things you never dared to dream of will start to take shape. I will open doors you didn't even know existed. Paths you once believed were permanently blocked will suddenly unfold before you like a river breaking through its dam. The crossroads that once filled you with fear will become corridors of blessing. I do not open doors for you to be seen, but for you to step into a new season. A season of purpose, a season of expansion, a season where your soul radiates in the mission I wrote upon your life from the very beginning. The doors you thought were forever closed, the ones you once stood before and wept because you couldn't walk through them, I will open them in a way you never expected, not by force, but through the power of grace. And as you walk in forgiveness, in the awareness that you are fully and eternally loved, your heart will be set free. And a soul set free is a soul that can receive everything I long to give. Prepare your heart, because not just one, but many doors will begin to open. Opportunities for you to live not just for yourself, but for something greater. Opportunities to become a harvester, a lifter of others, a sower of faith in places where hope has all but dried up. And you will realize that every past wound, every dry season, every dark path, each one was a necessary preparation for the day I send you out, the day you step into the role of a bearer of light in this world. My beloved, I did not call you to live with guilt eating away at your soul. I did not create you to walk with your head forever bowed under the weight of yesterday. I am calling you to rise, to lift your head, to live as one who has been forgiven, to walk as one who bears the name of the redeemed, purchased by blood. And when you live in that truth, not only will your life be transformed, but the world around you will begin to change as well. Let me lead you into a new season. A season of spiritual elevation, of soul restoration, of faith expansion, and of courageous obedience that will take you beyond what you once thought possible. For if you hold my hand, no door will be too heavy, no path too distant, and no dream too late. You are the one I have chosen to walk through those doors, not because you are better than others, but because I saw you through the lens of eternal love before time began. So step in, boldly, with gratitude, with a renewed heart, and with a deep trust that you are not the one knocking. It is I who have already opened the door and am waiting for you to enter. Can you hear my voice? I am calling you into a new life, into a season of glory marked by freedom, by forgiveness, and by doors that no one but I can open. My beloved child, never forget that it was I, with everlasting love and unfailing mercy, who pulled you out of the darkness and embraced you in the light of complete forgiveness. I did not merely wash away your past with sacrificial blood. I clothed you in a new garment, the robe of righteousness, the garment of one who belongs to the kingdom of light. I do not see you through the lens of past failures, but through eyes filled with hope, as an inseparable part of me, as a precious creation formed by my own hand and breath. When you understand that you are forgiven, not because of merit, but purely because of my mercy, then a different kind of strength will rise within you, the strength of compassion, of empathy, of being able to see others through my eyes. That is a clear sign of true transformation taking place in your soul, when you not only receive grace for yourself, but also begin to extend that same grace to others, even to those who may not deserve it, to those who have wounded you, to those the world has condemned and cast aside. I am calling you to live as one who carries grace, not reluctantly, but wholly and freely. You have experienced what it feels like to be loved by me in your weakness, to be lifted when you had no strength left. Now, let that same love flow through you to reach the souls who need a word of forgiveness, an uncritical gaze, a welcoming embrace. When you love others with the same love I have poured into you, you become light, not merely a flickering lamp, but a blazing torch in the night, guiding others toward healing. My child, remember this: true change cannot be enforced from the outside. Laws may govern behavior and rules may adjust appearances, but none of these can truly touch the heart without divine love as the catalyst. I did not come to force humanity to follow me out of fear, but to love them so deeply that they no longer wish to live apart from me. And the same is true for you. If you desire to see change in others, do not begin with criticism, begin with love. In a world increasingly fractured, where people divide over viewpoints, accomplishments, and past histories, I want you to be a bridge builder. Be the one who speaks forgiveness when others only know how to condemn. Be the one who remains humble while pride is being celebrated. Be the one who kneels to wipe away the tears of the weak, rather than stepping over them in haste. For these seemingly small acts are in fact the unmistakable signs of a soul living in true love. A love that does not boast, does not keep score, but is powerful enough to break the chains of hatred and mend what was once broken. Do not think that you are too small to make a difference. I have chosen those who seem insignificant in the eyes of the world to accomplish great things in my kingdom. It is not fame nor position that I look for, but a heart that remains tender to my call. When you live with mercy, you are sowing the seeds of the kingdom into the soil of the earth. You may not see the results right away, but trust this. Every act of love you extend is creating deep, invisible ripples. Ripples that may reach places your feet have never touched. And true transformation, whether in yourself or in the world around you, always begins in the deepest place, the heart. That is where I love to dwell, where I whisper my truth to you, and where the most important decisions are formed. When a heart is touched by grace, the whole person is changed, not out of fear of punishment, but because they have been loved beyond measure. Not due to pressure from the outside, but because of a stirring from within. That is true transformation. Enduring, profound, and contagious. My beloved child, on your journey through this world, there will be moments when you grow weary, moments when you feel inadequate to represent my love. But remember, you do not need to be perfect in order to love others. You only need to be sincere. You need only to rise each day and choose to speak a gentler word, to forgive a little quicker, to hold back one harsh judgment and replace it with a prayer. These small choices, when made in true love, have the power to open the heavens and guide the lost back home. I do not merely want to bless you. I want to make you a bearer of blessing, not only to receive forgiveness, but to become one who spreads it. Not only to experience love, but to live within it. And in that kind of life, you will no longer search for your role, for you will have become exactly what I have called you to be, a living reflection of the kindness of the Holy One. So, my child, with every step you take, let this truth echo in your heart. I have been forgiven, so I forgive. I have been loved, so I love. I have been healed, so I become one who brings healing. This is the path to a meaningful life, not a life that simply survives, but one that touches, transforms, and leaves an eternal mark in the hearts of others. And as you live this way, you will taste a joy that the world cannot give and cannot take away. The joy of a soul set free, a soul that knows it belongs to me and is walking in the sacred purpose I have written since the beginning of time. That is the life of the one who has been forgiven and who has now become a lighthouse upon the sea of life, illuminating the way back to eternal love. My beloved child, if you truly long to see change, not just in circumstances, environments, or those around you, but within the deepest layers of society, of family, of this wounded world, then begin at the most hidden place, your own soul. Real transformation cannot be achieved by a fresh coat of paint or by temporary gestures. It must begin in the quiet place, where only you and I remain, where I can lay my hand upon your heart and mold it according to my loving will. You do not need to become someone else to begin. I am not calling you with a perfected version of yourself. I am calling you in the truth of this very moment, with what is still broken, still unfinished, still uncertain. Let me, little by little, renew the way you think, cleansing the thoughts that have been stained by failure, fear, or shame. I am not merely interested in changing your behavior. I desire to restore your entire perspective, how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you see me, the one who loved you before you ever learned how to love yourself. I long for your mind to become as gentle as a stream after the rain, so I may sow within it fresh ideas, heavenly whispers, and mysteries no eye has seen nor heart has imagined. I want to rebuild the ruins in your thoughts, places damaged by judgment, confined by prejudice, and buried under layers of guilt. And when your mind is renewed, your awareness will become more attuned to my presence, and your entire vision of the world will begin to shift from the deepest. You will no longer see others through the harsh lens of comparison or envy, but through eyes full of mercy. You will stop trying to reshape others in your image and begin to love them with the kind of unconditional love that I have poured out on you. I will teach you how to be tender without being weak, wise without arrogance, patient without compromise, and you, transformed from within, will become a pure vessel through which my love flows to the driest and most desolate places. Imagine your life as a vineyard, tended with great care. When the soil is softened, when the roots grow deep, and when the vine leans toward the light, flowers will bloom, fruit will ripen, and fragrance will be released. In the same way, when your soul is transformed by me, every relationship you touch will be nourished. Dry connections will be softened. Fractured bonds will be restored through forgiveness, humility, and authenticity that flows from you, not by your own strength, but because I am working through you. And then, you will witness something miraculous. Your presence will begin to stir a quiet yet profound shift in the hearts of others, not because of your talent, not because of your eloquence, but because something within you will begin to shine, a light that is not your own, but a reflection of me. Those near you will begin to ask silent questions in their hearts. They will feel a gentle stirring to become better, to search for something true and enduring. And you, through your renewed life, will become a lighthouse, not shouting, not striving to prove anything, but simply being present. And that alone will awaken hearts. True transformation never begins with the masses. It begins with one soul willing to be changed by me. And through one person, I can move an entire community. From a single surrendered heart, I can write a new chapter in history. Just as a mustard seed can become a great tree, just as a pinch of yeast can raise an entire batch of dough, so can a single life, deeply transformed by my touch, bring light to a land long cloaked in darkness. My beloved, let my being be absorbed into yours. Let every breath you take beat with the rhythm of grace. And let every word you speak be a gentle stream that brings hope. When you live with the awareness that you are no longer who you used to be, but a new creation born of light, you will no longer live for yourself. Every step you take, every word you speak, every action you carry out will become a silent yet powerful proclamation of the one who has renewed your soul. I do not need you to be perfect in the eyes of the world. I only need you to keep allowing me to shape you. to continue letting me take hold of every part of your heart that has remained closed until now. For I am the God who perseveres. I will not stop until you become what I have dreamed for you to be since the beginning, and when you are transformed, I will use you as living evidence that there is a loving God, that a new life is truly possible, and that there is a light strong enough to break every chain of darkness. Look back on your journey. You have changed, even if you do not fully realize it. Do not underestimate the small changes, the slow steps, for each of them carries deep meaning in my eyes. And still, you are being transformed. There are depths I still long to touch. There are areas of your life I still desire to heal. There are corners I wish to renew. Do not hesitate to let me continue. Do not hesitate to let me do it. Through the tears, through the breaking, through the letting go. Now, offer me your prayer. You may say something like this: Lord, I repent for having missed the sign you sent, a precious sign given to guide me in this season. I am sorry for allowing my heart to be swept away by distractions, for letting the noise of the world drown out the whisper of the Holy Spirit. I know I have not listened enough. I have not quieted myself enough, and I have not been sensitive enough to perceive your invitation. Please forgive my carelessness and spiritual dullness. Lord, I bow before you and confess that many times I have allowed my emotions to lead me, letting fear and doubt cloud my spiritual vision. I have chosen to react rather than to seek your guidance. I have acted in anxiety instead of faith. Today I surrender all of that to you. Please forgive me, cleanse me, and renew me. Grant me a discerning spirit, a tender heart, and a faith strong enough not to repeat the same mistakes. Lord, I come before you with a heart full of longing and gratitude. Please open my spiritual eyes so that I may not overlook the signs you are now giving. Help me break free from distractions and keep me from the noise of the world, that my heart may be still enough to recognize your gentle voice. Give me an awakened spirit, so that in every circumstance I may seek you and listen for you. Lord, I know that the coming days mark a decisive turning point in my journey. Please grant me wisdom that surpasses my own understanding. May your Holy Spirit guide every decision I make, that they may not be driven by emotion, but be grounded in your truth and goodwill. Help me clearly discern the voice from heaven amidst the many sounds of the world. Lord, when reason and emotion are at odds, when my heart becomes confused and restless, please be the voice of peace within my soul. Do not let emotions lead me astray, but take my hand and guide me in the path of righteousness. May every decision I make be affirmed by the peace that comes from you. Grant me the strength to obey, even when it means leaving behind the familiar, and the faith to walk through darkness without losing heart. Lord, I ask that you protect me from being deceived by things that appear good but are contrary to your will. Teach me to discern between true signs from you and the temptations disguised under layers of falsehood. May my spirit be sharp and sensitive, not swayed by emotional affirmations, but grounded in your word. I offer you my time, my thoughts, and my focus, desiring to draw closer to you with each passing day. Lord, I know you are always working behind the scenes. Help me not to give up, simply because I don't see immediate results. Teach me to trust in your perfect timing, to believe that everything you do has purpose, even when I cannot yet comprehend it. Give me courage to walk by faith, steadfastness to wait patiently, and obedience to follow wherever you lead. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. If you love the Lord, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the meaningful and life-giving messages from God. Together we will grow in faith and live a life full of His love. Amen.